Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Keto Coffee Cheers. Today, we are talking about the official launch of the 6-week Summer Intermittent Fasting Challenge. This is actually our 6th year, I think, doing this, if I'm calculating right. Yeah, 6th year of the Summer Intermittent Fasting Challenge and our 20 something, I think 22nd or 25th or something like that challenge. So I'm so excited. This is my favorite challenge of the year every year just because it's so many AIM peeps join in. So many people love to just participate during this time of year and just root each other on. So it's such a positive experience. But today we're going to be talking about the 6-week Summer Intermittent Fasting Challenge, which officially is starting on June 26th. And I have a lot of really exciting things to announce along with it. So including a brand new meal plan. A lot of you guys already have received it. I've already seen a lot of you guys getting your program this morning. I printed mine out. Right here, we're going to go through that as well. Super excited to talk about that. But let's dive into the details for the challenge because it's coming up really soon and there's a lot that you guys will have access to and a lot of really fun surprises. So let's get into it. Which Keto Coffee Cheers, guys, if you're just tuning in, we're talking about the Summer Intermittent Fasting Challenge that is starting on Monday, June 26th. So we are officially kicking off on Monday, June 26th. That's when the 6 weeks starts. But I like to always make sure to give you guys a couple weeks to really prepare. Achieving a wellness goal and tapping the fat burning mechanisms and feeling really great is so much more than just the recipes itself, which obviously I have so many amazing recipes in the new meal plan and in my programs in general that help to support your goals, and the intermittent fast itself, which helps support your goals. But knowledge really is power. And each of the programs, especially this one, just is packed with so much information to help you achieve your goals. And reading through that, it's not like a heavy, huge read, but it is packed with so much information and tips and strategies to really individualize your approach and make you feel amazing. You will get so much out of these next 2 weeks if you just really take this time to prep yourself mentally, and also just reading through the programs. It goes so far. So that's why I like to have our challenge start about 2 weeks after the official launch date, so you guys can have time for this prep period, get your kitchen ready, get your mind ready, get into the Facebook group so that you can have that support, so that you can feel really encouraged along the way and feel really empowered going into it, that you know what you're doing and feel confident in the process. I just see so much more success that way when people actually take that time to prep. And I'm sure a lot of people in the chat will agree who've done challenges in the past. Reading through the information really goes miles. Okay, so as I mentioned, we do have a brand new meal plan. I printed mine out right here. This one is by far my favorite meal plan in terms of recipes. This has the most recipes that I've ever crammed into one meal plan before. Usually it's around 30 new recipes. This one has 50. I went crazy. I was initially planning on just doing 30 recipes, and then I just kept on coming up with new, more fun, exciting recipes that are very simple, and I wanted to add them in. So there's so many new recipes. They're so delicious. They're so summery and bright and fun. Really excited for you guys to get your hands on that. And with this meal plan, we have an extra emphasis as well. So if this is your first challenge, with each new summer meal plan that I do, we have the 6 weeks of the meals and the new recipes, but there's also new information within the beginning portions of each one. So if you guys have not been new to my channel, if you've been tuning in for the last couple months, we've been talking a lot about the importance of sugar and sugar cravings and how those can really work against your goals, and how you don't have to suppress your sugar cravings by just out disciplining them. There's actually so much physiology that goes around it. And if you just eat the right types of things and have the right types of strategies, you can naturally kick your sugar cravings and feel really great and not feel deprived in the process. So go a lot into the step-by-step strategies on this. So many tips. They're built into the meals itself. And I have my low sugar desserts within the program. So you can still have those sweet treats, but also have them support your goals as well. So much new information. We'll get a little bit more into that in a second. But as I mentioned, 50 brand new recipes. Here's just some of them. You can see they're very bright, beautiful, so easy to make. And one thing that I always like to do with all of my recipes is make sure that it's not going to be very extensive amount of time in the kitchen. I love to cook, but I also realistically don't have that much time to actually cook. I also don't like to meal prep, spend like 3 hours on a Sunday meal prepping all of my meals. These are meals that you don't have to meal prep. You can make that day. You can meal prep them if you want, but they're very fast and easy recipes to make. They require pretty minimal ingredients and pretty minimal steps and skills in terms of cooking. I'm a lazy cook, so my recipes are pretty lazy in terms of that as well, but still amazing, delicious, whole foods to help support your goals with your intermittent fasting journey. Again, these are just a few of them and really excited about each one. I've been making these like nonstop throughout the last like 8 months. Been really hard not to share like pictures of them. I've so many times want to share pictures of them on Instagram, but I'm like, can't give them away yet. So something else that is really important, which is why I highly recommend reading through the programs before you guys join in for the Summer Intermittent Fasting Challenge, is that the meal plans and recipes are really easy to adapt to your goals. Or your food preferences. So here's just one example right here, and where I want you guys to be able to see how you can apply specific strategies to fit you and your lifestyle and your goals. So each of the meals are either carb sensitive friendly. I know I have a lot of AM peeps who are really sensitive to carbs, so I'm really aware of that when I'm creating my programs to make sure that they are very low glycemic load, or that they're just carb sensitive friendly in general. Or there's swaps provided to make them carb sensitive friendly too. There's also plant-based and omnivorous swaps. So if you're plant-based, then there's the protein swap for you. If you're omnivorous, then there's also the swap for you. I also, one thing, I don't know if this is like the case for you guys, but for me personally, I hate buying a cookbook and like the recipes are one specific protein. It'll be like, oh, this recipe is just for chicken. And if I'm not feeling like chicken, then I can't use that recipe. Or if it's like this recipe only is done with pork and I don't really like pork, so I can't use it. I like to make my recipes really flexible so that you can also just apply the type of protein that will obviously support your goals, but also that you actually like. And then you can see at the bottom right here, which I'm going to make this bigger so you guys can see because this is so important. But you can see that I have specific protocol swaps. So if you guys see with each recipe, they have the little emojis right under the recipe name. And then there'll be like a separate little drop down, like in this case, the flex emoji for the athlete protocol that gives how to adjust the recipe to fit that specific protocol. If you guys are following my complete intermittent fasting bundle, if you're using one of these strategies, like the athlete protocol or the advanced weight loss strategy, you can even further tailor the recipes to fit that specific protocol. So a lot of ways to individualize, which is so important when it comes to achieving your goals, because what works for me is not going to work for somebody else. And it's important to make sure that you can make adjustments that fit not only your goals, but your lifestyle and food preferences. Because let's be honest, like especially going back to the actual, let's just go back to this. Something that's so important about having new recipes, new fresh ideas on how to actually make meals that support your goals is that it prevents food fatigue. Food fatigue is one of the biggest barriers I see with my clients and also with myself, where if you are eating the same meals over and over, even if you think you're somebody who enjoys that and if you like the simplicity of it, everybody always ends up getting bored and everybody always ends up going back to the types of foods that don't support their goals because they're so bored of the same meals that they're having over and over. Having new, fresh ideas and new recipes that also taste amazing, that also support your goals is so important for preventing this food fatigue so that you don't end up reverting to these habits that don't make you feel great and don't support your goals. So that's where having how you can adjust the recipes to fit your lifestyle and your food preferences is just as important as having the additional new recipes and ideas that also support your goals. And obviously the new tips and information, we're hugely emphasizing sugar in this meal plan and how you can actually naturally decrease or even completely get rid of your sugar cravings. I've talked a lot recently about how I used to be such a sugar addict, like so sugar was in everything. And now it's like, I don't even really crave sugar. I don't really have sugar. It's all because of the tools and strategies that I share in this meal plan. So a lot of really great information, new tips, new strategies, as well as the new recipes and the new meal plan itself. So this is a limited release meal plan where it's only available as usual with each of my summer meal plans during the 6-week summer challenge, Once you own it for life, but it's only available for a short time. So if you guys want to grab this to participate within the 6-week summer intermittent fasting challenge, check it out in the link down description below. You can also find it on my website at autumnlnutrition.com/shop. But let's get into some more details about the challenge itself. So the meal plan is obviously one big aspect of it, where I've been working on this for like 8 months. Obviously, you guys can tell I'm so excited about it. The recipes are my favorite that I've ever created. But we also have the actual challenge. So every year, especially for the summer challenge, I really like to go big and make sure I have so many fun wellness prizes for you guys. So I have one randomly selected grand prize winner that at the end of the challenge wins over $1,100 worth of grand prizes. So you guys can see, and I'm going to bring it up and like hold up some stuff as well. All of my favorite things, all of the things you guys have seen me talk about, including some new ones that I've recently discovered that I think you guys will love as well. These are all things that are going to be included in the grand prizes for one randomly selected winner at the end. So obviously we have my zero sugar protein powder, which you should grab anyway before the challenge starts so you can really stock up and make sure you have enough for the recipes. But we'll be including my chocolate and vanilla zero sugar protein powder. Purity is offering, I believe it's a 1-year subscription for one randomly selected winner of their coffee, the only coffee I drink. So this is really fun one, really amazing. We have Kettle and Fire as well, donating a ton of bone broth, which I use every single week to up my collagen and help to naturally prevent sugar cravings. You'll see that's actually one of the strategies I talk about in the 6-week summer meal plan. So Kettle and Fire, really high quality bone broth. We have Element, who, if you guys are using intermittent fasting, you know, like this is so important, so crucial to make sure that you're preventing headaches and muscle fatigues and fatigue and low energy. So they're also going to be giving 4 boxes. So I believe it's, how many are in here? 120. So it's like 4 months supply of, yeah, I did that math, right? Yeah. 4 months supply of Element to one winner as well. And then we have the Reserve, who is my favorite matcha company. There you go. They also have superfoods that they are going to be providing to one winner as well. You can't even see it. It's so hard to do this. Okay, well, you can see it on there. So organic matcha as well as their organic superfoods, which especially Trevor lately, my husband, has been loving using their combination of ashwagandha, marine collagen, and lion's mane. He's been putting all 3 of those into his smoothie and just been feeling really great. We have Paleo Valley, which these are just their beef sticks that I have like every day. But they also are providing their liver supplements and their vitamin C for one winner. And a new brand that I just recently came across, and obviously I've already been like eating because this is an opened cap. But this is a granola brand where it's actually made from just nuts and like coconut flakes and chia seeds and salt. So it's a really high quality granola, so grain-free granola that I've been putting on my yogurts and yogurt bowls, or even topping my smoothies with as like a granola alternative. They're really great, brand new company that I just came across, and they also are providing a few, I think 4 of these for their one winner. So a lot of grand prizes that is really just some of my favorite things, favorite products that will be given to one lucky grand prize winner. And then each week, if this is your first challenge, each week I like to do a weekly live stream within the challenge itself. So every Monday, I have a live stream where I share new information of the, each week of the challenge, a new live stream where I share new information, new tips, new strategies that go along with the intermittent fasting challenge to help provide not only answering questions, because there's a Q&A, but also that additional support, additional community, because having, as you guys can see in the chat, there's a lot of AM peeps out there, and having that community is really helpful for staying on track with your goals and getting and staying excited about feeling great. So having people around you who are doing the same thing as you and who are sharing their ideas and their tips and their strategies within the chat, but also in the private Facebook group. We have over 17,000 members in there now. So many men and women from all across the world who are constantly sharing their own inspiration, their own progress, their own pictures of their meals. It's just such a positive space to be. And especially if you don't have other people in your life where they are necessarily on the same wellness journey as you, or you aren't feeling supported, this goes so far. Having this community, having the support group between the live streams that we do every Monday, as well for during the challenge, as well as the private Facebook group, is so important. And I'm, again, sure people in the chat will agree as well. And then, so for how you join in, we have two different ways that you can actually use a 6-week summer meal plan. So if you are, this option is good for like if you have used one of my challenges in the past, and especially if you want to take advantage of new information and new recipes, you can use the full new meal plan throughout the full 6 weeks. Or if you are brand new and you're like, I just want to get back to the basics, first start with the intermittent fasting program, you can use that as well. And I have how you can actually incorporate the complete intermittent fasting bundle within today's blog post with the details. So I have the blog post link down description below for how to join the challenge using one of these two ways. So make sure you check that out if you're unsure on which route is going to be better for you, and you can see that which option will be best. But I also have the 2023 beginner bundle. So if you're someone who's like, I want to combine both, I want to be able to still, this is my first intermittent fasting challenge. I need that basis of how to incorporate intermittent fasting properly. But I want to take advantage of the limited release meal plan. This would be the best option for you because it includes the 7-day detox, the 6-week summer meal plan, and the 21-day intermittent fasting program. If you go this route, I would highly recommend that you take the next 2 weeks to read through the 21-day intermittent fasting program and preferably try and do the 7-day detox next week. So you can just start off with a clean slate. This is such a great strategy to give you, really arm you with the information to properly apply intermittent fasting, get that 7-day detox in to start with a clean slate, which this is also a hugely popular program within the community, and then still be able to follow the 6-week summer meal plan, all the new recipes and all the new tips. So all of those options are listed in today's blog post that is linked down description below. You can find the complete intermittent fasting bundle, the beginner bundle, as well as the new 6-week summer meal plan. Also linked below and on my website at autumnelnutrition.com/shop. So autumnellenutrition.com/shop. So this is such an amazing time of year because it's actually a time that you can really focus on your goals and how you want to feel and your energy levels and just feeling really great. Because obviously, like, there is the weight loss aspect, and we've seen so many people in the community who've achieved their goals and feel amazing. But there's also so much more to that. There's the health, there's the wellness aspect. For myself personally, when I'm eating in this way, my anxiety levels are so much lower. My gut health is so much more improved. And you just feel, since my anxiety level is personally lower when I'm eating this way, I also just feel more positive and happy. I know that with other people in the community, if you go through on my blog where they share their stories, yes, they talk about the weight loss that they've experienced, but it's also how they feel and how they've totally shifted their perspective around food as well, and how they feel like they have a better relationship with food and doesn't feel like food is dictating their lives anymore. And they can actually eat foods that make them feel great, that they love, that they can eat and enjoy, but also that helps them achieve their goals too. So if you guys want to join in, we are starting on Monday, June 26th, to allow for enough time for you to prepare, to get your kitchen ready, to get your brain ready with all the new information you're going to be absorbing over the next 2 weeks. So if you guys want to join in, we are starting Monday, June 26th. The link for how to join, as well as the meal plan options, are down the description below. Now, let me know. I'm going to go through and answer some questions because I do see that there's some questions in the chat, but let me know in the chat if this is your first challenge. Like, is this your very first challenge with the AIM community? I know, especially in the last 3 months, we've had so many new subscribers to my channel. And there's probably some of you guys where this is your first challenge. Let us know in the chat so we can say hi and cheer you guys on along the way too. But for now, I'm going to go through and answer some questions. Wow, Frankie, congratulations. Hi, Autumn. I've lost 31 pounds since January following your principles. Thank you for all your videos. Congratulations, Frankie. That's amazing. Hello from Ottawa. Yeah, lots of people saying they love the grand prizes, like the reserve matcha, drink it frequently. Okay, Juliana, are you planning on doing an update to the detox or level up guide? We just recently did an update. I believe it was like a year and a half ago. So that one's actually really recently updated. Level up guide, there might be an update coming up in the future, but if there is one, then make sure you're subscribed to my email newsletter so that if you already have had the level up guide in the past, you make sure to grab the updated version when that comes out. Oh, Maribel, I'm super excited. I love your smoothies and recipes. So easy and delicious. Yes. Simplicity is so important when it comes to being realistic about achieving your goals. But simplicity doesn't have to mean that something tastes like plain either. I think like people have this common misconception that, yeah, you can eat healthy and it can taste great, but only if you're a chef. That is not the case at all. Like I mentioned, I'm such a lazy cook. I love to cook, but I'm also so lazy not lazy. I'm just busy. Everybody's busy. And, like having very fast and easy options and knowing how to make them so flavorful without spending like 3 hours in the kitchen, it's an important skill. Okay, can you give an example of a day of meals outlined in the challenge? Yes, so I do have all of that in the blog post where you can also see visuals too. So if you go to the blog post that's linked in the description right below this video. So sometimes it can be kind of hard to find the description of the video with the YouTube video, but you just click the little like arrow, like a little down arrow icon next to, I believe it's next to like the title of the video itself. And you'll be able to see the full description with all the links. In the blog post from today, I do have a lot more details on the meals, a screenshot of like the example, like one week of the example programs, as well as visuals of the recipes itself. Oh, Lynn, just bought the summer challenge plan, ready to lose the last of my menopause weight. Awesome. Keto coffee cheers. Okay, Anna. Hi, Autumn. So very excited to do my first challenge, loving intermittent fasting and all it's doing for me. So it's incredible. I'm wondering your thoughts on raw milk. Yeah, I've been wanting to do a video on this because I've been getting questions about this for a while. I personally don't use raw milk, mostly just because I don't drink raw milk. I make, I don't drink milk. I make yogurt out of it. So it would kind of defeat the purpose of using raw milk because you have to heat it up first and then cool it down. If you guys have seen my homemade Greek yogurt recipe on YouTube, I do have that as well. You can just type like how to make Greek yogurt at home, and my video is like the first one to pop up on YouTube. So I personally don't use it just because it kind of defeats the purpose because I'm heating it up. But there are some really great health benefits for raw milk. There's reasons why you might want to use it. A lot of research coming out, especially in terms of allergies and how it might actually be more beneficial from an allergies perspective. But I want to do a full video on that, maybe a blog post in the future, because there's a lot to break down. But I personally don't use it, not because I don't agree with it, but because I'm heating it up anyway, so it kind of defeats the purpose. So I don't know what this was in response to, but Karen says, yes, it's all new recipes. Yes. So we have all new recipes in here, over 50 of them. So many great ones. Like some of my favorites. Let me see. So obviously this one's very simple. I shared this on my Instagram account the other day. I don't know if you can see it. The bell pepper sando recipe. Oh my gosh, it's so simple. I was just like drooling looking at it. It's so simple, but it's so easy to make, but it's so flavorful, so crunchy. I mean, really don't discount simplicity when it comes to making really tasty meals. If you know how to properly pair those ingredients, especially if you're following these recipes, you will be good. The sesame slaw salad. Let me find the one that's like my absolute favorite. Yeah. Okay. This was one that I was having like every day for a while. The pancakes and jam. So I share how to make a really easy, literally like 5-minute jam where it doesn't have any sugar and it's packed with fiber and it's so good. You wouldn't even really notice the difference. So I have this pancakes and jam recipe that has so much protein in it to help you feel satisfied. Uses protein pancakes to really make sure you're getting adequate protein. And then we also have different toppings that further increase the protein content. Like very simple meals, use simple ingredients, but taste amazing. Yeah, it can be a little tricky. So I've never been to a live. It took me a second to find the video description. Yes, it's like kind of funky to find. So you do have to click the little like It's like a little down arrow next to the title of the video itself. Jean, is the 6 weeks over? Okay, this is what Karen was responding to. Is it completely different from last year's plan? Yes. So every year, every summer, rather, I do come out with a brand new 6-week summer plan for you guys. So we have brand new recipes, brand new tips, everything. Last year's focus was heavily on protein and teaching you guys all about protein and how to use protein to achieve your goals. This year's focus, we have the emphasis on sugar and sugar cravings, how to naturally get rid of those without feeling deprived, as well as obviously so many more new recipes. This one actually has way more new recipes than last year's. Okay. Margaret, I cycle with a group on weekends, 60 to 100 kilometers. Wow, that's good in the mornings. Is there a way to not break my fast and not bonk? I get quite lightheaded if I'm not eating quick sugars during my ride. Any advice for those days? Yes. So it is highly possible. It just requires some metabolic training. So I don't know how early on you are into your intermittent fasting journey, but this is where understanding that there's a really big importance when it comes to intermittent fasting, but also properly eating the right types of foods within your eating window to help support your goals, whether it be a fitness, weight loss, whatever it is. A lot of people, what they do is they will intermittent fast, will just like remove a meal and like eat a little bit less and just eat their normal meals that didn't support their goals in the past, didn't make them feel great. And that ultimately won't help you achieve your goals. So with your meals, as well as with your intermittent fast, it's important to make sure we're focusing on getting the body metabolically flexible, which just means that your body can more easily shift from burning fat to burning carbohydrates. Now, I have a few clients actually who've done Ironman triathletes where they are, or triathlons rather, where they're doing really extensive long trainings without even having anything. Sometimes they will, sometimes they won't, but they won't bonk. And that's because their body is so efficient at burning fat as fuel, but especially with endurance training, which that's what that is, 60 to 100 kilometers of cycling, that's endurance. So when you are doing more endurance training, the body is actually going to be more efficient when it uses fat as fuel anyway, so that you don't have to constantly refuel. We have so much more body fat than we do have carbohydrate stores in our body, which is why if you use that old school method of just sticking to just burning carbs during endurance, you do have to constantly refuel or else you will bonk because your body hasn't efficiently learned how to use fat as fuel. So all that being said, yes, it is totally possible to not break your fast, but it does require a lot of prep work in the beginning, making sure that you're properly fueling your body during the intermittent fast with the foods that will support metabolic flexibility, making sure you have electrolytes, making sure that you're not doing too long of a fast. I actually go way more into this in my athlete protocol in the complete intermittent fasting bundle. So if you haven't seen that before, or maybe you have the programs, but you haven't used the athlete protocol, you'll definitely want to check that one out because it is possible. It's just, it does require a lot of prep work. Wow, congratulations. I lost 30 pounds on your spring intermittent fasting challenge. That's very impressive. Okay, Lynn, what is your recommendation on collagen powder in smoothie or pill? Yeah, you can absolutely use collagen in a smoothie or take it like the Reserve has marine collagen. There's other different types of collagens as well. What I do want to note though is that collagen is not a complete protein. So if you're going to add collagen in along with like, I know some people like to put it in their coffees, just note that will break a fast, most likely. I have a whole video on that if you guys want to look that up as well. But collagen is not a complete protein. So it will break your fast. It also won't count toward your total protein intake. So just don't replace your other proteins with collagen. See it as more of like an add-on, but it's not replacing protein. So if you're using like one of my smoothie recipes, for example, and it calls for like the Greek yogurt and my zero sugar whey protein powder, like right here. You don't want to replace the whey protein powder with the collagen because then now you're decreasing your total protein by 10 complete grams of protein. So you want to make sure if you're going to use it as an add-on, not as a replacement. Is it okay if you don't detox before you start this challenge? Yes, you can not do the detox the week before. Although I will say a lot of people see really great benefits from doing the 7-day detox the week before the challenge starts and then diving in. I would still recommend at least reading through the program. If you've not done any of my challenges before, read through the 7-day detox, read through the 21-day intermittent fasting program so you have that base understanding. You'll get so much more out of your challenge experience and achieving your goals so much easier and tailored to you if you do that. I would highly recommend doing the 7-day detox before that week before, so starting next Monday. But if that's just not like going to work out for you, you can jump in. Just make sure you read the information first. Nicole, beginner, can I do the modified 500 calorie ADF with this challenge? I personally never recommend alternate day fasting, especially for women. So it's not something I've seen to be beneficial long-term. It's something that I've seen can ultimately cause a lot of difficulties with achieving wellness goals long-term, especially weight loss goals long-term. So it's not something I would be able to comfortably say like, yeah, go ahead and do that, because it's not something I personally would ever recommend. I go a lot more into why I don't recommend alternate day fasting. I have a couple videos on this. If you just type like Autumn Bates ADF on YouTube, I'm sure my most recent one will pop right up. But I never recommend it for my clients who are looking to achieve a weight loss goal, who are looking to achieve a gut health goal, who are looking to achieve really any type of goal. It's not something that I've seen beneficial. Ultimately, I see in the long run, it can be more detrimental to goals. Can I get the dates for the 6 weeks? Yes. So if you guys are just tuning in, we're talking about the 6-week Summer Intermittent Fasting Challenge. We're starting that on Monday, June 26th. In fact, let me just get this up here so it's easier to reference. You guys actually know what I'm talking about. But we're starting on Monday, June 26th. I believe the last week goes through the first week of August. I think it ends on like the 5th. I can't remember specifically, but it's 6 weeks starting on June 26th. Okay. All right. Got the new summer meal plan. Awesome. I'm in for the challenge. Goal to lose 15 to 20 pounds. That's awesome. Okay. Myrna, Spain over here. It is 18:30 over here. I just had my last meal before starting this challenge. Wish me luck. When do you all start? So we are starting on Monday, June 26th. If you guys want more of the like specific exact details of everything we covered in this live stream, you can find the blog post from like everything we covered today in more of a visual format, linked down description below. So if you want to join in and you want that information, just click the little description bar, like little drop down icon, and you can get the details for how to join the challenge. Great question. So Boundless Brittany, is the meal plan a 3 meal plan? I think you mean, is it a 3-day or 3 meal a day plan? If I got that question correct. Yes. So my meal plans are always structured around 3 meals within the intermittent fasting eating window. I do have clients and A and peeps who will modify it to make a 2 meal a day, and they'll just slightly increase the servings at each of their meals. Actually, this is why reading the programs is so important, because I do talk about how to go about this on switching the meals from a 3-day or 3 meals to 2 meals, if that works better for you, in the 21-day program, which is in the complete intermittent fasting bundle. Also included in the beginner bundle, if this is your first challenge. But it talks about how you can switch from a 3 meal to a 2 meal using my recipes. So if you prefer a 2 meal, then you absolutely can do that. Just make sure you're doing it properly and not just completely removing a meal. Otherwise, you're going to be cutting back significantly on the nutrients your body needs for your goals to feel really great. Also for the protein amount that's needed to help suppress the sugar cravings. Okay. I drink herbal tea, but it's an infusion of dried plants, fruits, and herbs. Can it break a fast? Without knowing the specific details of the herbal tea, I can't definitively say if it will or not. But what I would recommend you take a look at is if it has a nutrition facts label. They don't always do for something like teas if it doesn't have any quote calories. But since it has fruits in there, I suspect it probably does. So the fruits are the thing that could be causing the net grams of carbs to go high enough to where it could break a fast. So just take a look at the nutrition facts label. If it has more than, or if it has 1 gram of net carbs or more, then I would not recommend having that during a fast. Diane, I'll be traveling for the 4th of July where there'll be tips. Will there be tips support for how to stick to the plan while still enjoying my vacation? In the past, we've often, especially around 4th of July, had the live stream, the weekly live stream discussing this exact topic. So if this is something you guys want to see, you can let me know in the comments down below or in the chat, and maybe we can do that as a topic for the weekly live stream. Okay, Anna, have you come across people who have lost their appetite with fasting? Do you wait until you feel hungry again, or do you break your fast with a normal window for eating? Yes, so it is pretty common to experience a significant drop in appetite because the body is becoming much better at burning fat as fuel. So I talked about this a little bit earlier on in the live stream, this concept of metabolic flexibility and the body becoming better at burning fat as fuel. And we have more body fat on us, even if someone is very, very lean, than we do carbohydrates and blood sugar. So when our body's burning fat as fuel, we're essentially getting food from our own body fat. So the sensation for hunger, that like immediate sense of I need to eat something, like that hanger that most of us are so familiar with like a old school snacking or grazing type of mentality, that doesn't really happen when you are using intermittent fasting the right way, or for most people it doesn't. So it can feel like a complete loss of appetite, but in reality, it's just that you aren't feeling that sensation of like, I need to eat something right now, or I'm going to have a headache and pass out, which obviously is not fun. So it is still important to make sure you're eating enough nutrients within the eating window. So I do still recommend eating all of your same meals within the eating window, not trying to push it to later, and not trying to like remove a meal because you aren't feeling hungry. Otherwise, you could just then cycle back into some of those older habits. Instead, just make sure you're still eating the same meals, even if you don't feel necessarily starved the way that you're used to feeling when maybe like in the past you did more like grazing. Still making sure that you're getting in those meals to help support your goals. Okay, Rick, if the plan calls for a salad like the Chinese chicken salad, is it okay to put 2 to 3 times the amount of greens? Absolutely. So if you guys look in the complete intermittent fasting bundle, I do have even a format for if you were to create your own meals, how you could create them. And we talk a lot about the concept of the fiber component or the non-starchy veggies. As long as you're getting all of the protein component, which is the part that is really the limiting factor. You don't want to be filling up on just greens. You do need the protein. So as long as you're getting all that protein component, but you find that you still want more greens, you can feel free to load up on those greens. Just don't fill up on greens and cause it to prevent you from eating enough protein. Okay, Michelle, I have low blood sugar and can only do it for like 12 to 13 hours. Can I still lose weight? I've been doing a for sure 12-hour fast for 4 weeks and I've only lost 3 pounds. Yes. So I would recommend you check out Guylain's story. I think I saw Guylain is actually in the chat. I'm not sure if she's still here as well. But Guylain, for I think it was like the first 4 months, she can correct me in the chat. But she did only a 12-hour fast, but using the meal plan strategies we discuss within my programs on my channel, and lost a significant amount of weight. I believe it was 40 pounds just in those first few months of just doing a 12-hour fast. So you can absolutely have a shorter fast. The shorter fast is perfectly okay as long as you're also making sure you're addressing your eating window. Now, I don't know your specific circumstance. I don't know like what the body fat percentage is, how much weight there really is to lose, any of that can really dictate like how much weight should be lost in that period. I say should because there's really not a certain amount. I have a video on that. I'll link it down below. But anyway, I don't really have that information, so I can't provide specific feedback. However, I will note that I've seen people who will use intermittent fasting and completely ignore or not address their eating window and think that like all the magic is just going to come from the fast. The intermittent fast is so important. You get so many benefits from the actual intermittent fast itself, but you also need to address the meals, which is why in my complete intermittent fasting bundle, I have the recipes in there, the meal plans. That's why I come out with new recipes like with the 6-week summer meal plan to prevent food fatigue and keep giving you new fresh ideas, because the meals that you eat is so important. Otherwise, you just will not achieve your goals. You can't outfast a bad diet. You can't outfast really anything. Like, yes, you can fast for a certain amount of time, but eventually you have to eat. Those foods also have to support your goals and make you feel great and taste good. But that's just my opinion. So I would say, yes, you can absolutely do a 12-hour fast as long as that works for you. But the fact that you also have low blood sugar makes me think that you might not be very metabolically flexible. Maybe there's some type of specific health condition that you are working on with your doctor where you do have low blood sugar outside of just the typical not having metabolic flexibility. But if not, if it is from what most people are experiencing with this, which is from a lack of metabolic flexibility, a lack of being able to burn fat as fuel, that's an even bigger sign to me that you are not eating the types of meals that are supporting your goals within your eating window of the fast. So obviously, I'm not a doctor. You need to make sure that you check with your doctor regarding your history of low blood sugar. But from my experience of working with other doctors as well as clients who have this experience of the lower blood sugar, it's typically from lack of metabolic flexibility because they're stuck in the state of only burning carbs as fuel, not fat. And that's a big, big sign that you are not addressing the eating window and the right types of foods within that eating window. So that's where getting that specific guidance with the challenges, with the meal plans, seeing how to structure your meals so that you can help better support that stable blood sugar level, help better support tapping into fat burning is just really, really useful. Okay, this is a good question. Joy. Autumn, lately I'm noticing that I'm hitting my protein goal, but my calorie intake seems really low, around 1,000 to 1,200. Thoughts? Yes. So this one's very specific. Like this one's difficult because there's a lot of different directions it can go in. First of all, it is important to note that when you have adequate protein intake, that the body's like sensation of starvation mode doesn't kick in quite the same as just general eating low calories. So your metabolic changes are very, very vastly different when you're eating adequate protein versus when you're just low calorie and not eating adequate protein. This is possible. What typically happens in the situation, and again, I don't know like what your body fat percentage is, what your goals are, but oftentimes when people are getting really full and eating enough protein, but they just don't find that they need as much food, this is where the body is pulling a lot of its energy and its intake from the body fat. So eventually what can happen is your appetite, because you are so full and getting those proper nutrients that your body really needs to be satisfied from the protein, the amount that you really need to be eating just naturally is lower because you're pulling in more energy from internal fat stores. But then as you start to get closer to your weight loss goal, and that's just me assuming that maybe that's the goal you're looking for, as you start to get closer to your weight loss goal, that's where the hunger can start to go up. I see this all the time with my clients where hunger starts to go up the closer they get to their weight, achieving their weight loss goal, because there's just simply less body fat to be pulling from, less of an energy reserve to be pulling from. So that's where you do need to make sure you're compensating, eating more nutrients to compensate for the decreased body fat. So you're still always getting the same amount of energy. They're just from different sources. So this is something, again, I think I talked about that more recently, like this state of maintenance and how you can add in more food and still be maintaining your weight loss progress in a recent video. It was like last week or 2 weeks ago. I think it was called like how to keep fat from coming back. That's a good video that you'll want to check out on how this process works. But I will also say, make sure you're keeping track of your muscle mass, because a decrease in muscle mass is also a big sign the body's in a state of starvation or semi-starvation, which obviously we want to avoid. So you can use something like the InBody Arbo Leaf, but I'm not as big of a fan of the at-home ones. When you're looking to actually get this super accurate data using DEXA scan, InBody, keep track of your muscle mass, see it either staying the same or going up. That's what you want to see to ensure that you're not in the state of semi-starvation. Jessifer, question for a family member. My dad just had a quadruple bypass and is looking to get much healthier. Would this be something he could do now, or maybe have him wait until later in his healing journey from surgery? I guess it really depends on how long ago he had this surgery and what his doctors want him to do in terms of dietary changes. Sometimes they don't really have any dietary changes they recommend. Sometimes they have very specific ones depending on the case. But especially for when you're recovering from a surgery or like if you have a severe injury, protein needs tend to go up. And in the program, we talk a lot about getting adequate protein and incorporating high quality sources. So I would check with your dad's doctor, see if there's any specific type of nutrient adjustments that they want him to make. If not, you can always have them take a look at what the meal plan is offering and see if that's going to work for him and his goals. It is focused entirely on very nutrient dense foods and very high quality protein sources that help promote that sense of healing, help provides the amino acids that are needed for healing. But again, it's a very individual circumstance when it comes to surgery. So I would just check in with his doctor. Guylaine, 6 months. Okay. So Guylaine is the one I mentioned a little bit earlier who did the 12-hour fast for 6 months and still achieved so much during those first 6 months, even with the 12-hour fast, because she was also focusing on her meals. Her story is amazing. She just recently shared an update in the private Facebook group. So make sure you guys check that out. If you're not joined in the Facebook group or you haven't logged in a while, Guylaine just recently shared her update and it is remarkable. So amazing, so inspirational. Definitely like such a great inspo going into the 6-week summer challenge. Yeah, so Guylaine said, you can certainly start with 12 hours and 3 meals a day. She went from 231 and is 171 right now. You guys have to go into the Facebook group and see her pictures she's posted. I mean, Guylaine, you just look amazing. You look so happy and so healthy and so energetic, and I'm so proud of you. Okay, I'm going to answer a couple more questions. And then I need to actually drink some water. This looks like such product placement right now. I actually just got this for my birthday because I needed an even bigger water bottle, and this one was convenient. Okay. I began intermittent fasting 16/8 and lost 58 pounds in a year. Congratulations. Still have 30 pounds to go, but I've hit a plateau for 2 months now. Suggestions. Yes, this is where goes back to what I was mentioning on how so many people just intermittent fast, but don't pay a lot of attention to the eating window. The eating window is where I would say about like 70%, if not like 80% of the magic really happens, because it helps you piggyback on the benefits of your intermittent fast. So especially if you have still a 30-pound weight loss goal, which you've already made so much progress actually with the 58 pounds, congratulations. But since you still have that additional goal, it makes me think that you still have some areas within your eating window that can be adjusted to help your body better burn fat as fuel. So it sounds like you're probably a beginner. I'm not sure if you've joined in on one of my challenges in the past. You might want to use the beginner bundle route where you can actually learn more about intermittent fasting and how to actually structure your meals within the intermittent fast and then apply those meals over the next 6 weeks to help break through that plateau. That would be the next step. Plus, another really great tool that I also talk about in the beginner bundle as well is incorporating resistance training. That would be the next step, but wouldn't skip over the meal portion. The meal portion is really the next most important thing other than incorporating the intermittent fast. But then like for fine tuning, resistance training can get you to even next level, but you need that meal component to even get you to that resistance training section. Michelle, okay, awesome. I'll do that. Thank you. I've been eating healthy like 98% of the time, maybe a cheat meal once a week. Where can I purchase that meal plan? The meal plans are linked down description below. So you can just like click the little description like link thingy and they're linked down description below. Otherwise, you can also go to my website at autumnlnutrition.com/shop and find them there. So it's autumn, AUTUMN, and then ELLE nutrition.com. Okay. Answer like one more question. Great question. I tend to be an emotional eater. If I slip and eat something high calorie, my next meal day, do I just eat the protein to meet the daily requirement and start fresh the next day? How to fix this? Yes. So if you find that, especially you tend to be more of an emotional eater, I know that can be very difficult, especially because like food, it's so prevalent, it's all around, and all of these type of like triggering foods are all around as well. But if you can address the physiology first, that's 90% of the battle. The physiology is really where we address the hormones and the hunger. If we can make it so that when you're in these states of stress or feeling more emotional, if we can get it to where you are not physically hungry, as well as you're not you are not going to be already craving sugar, then that already is 90% of the battle. It makes it so it's so much easier to not just give into those types of foods that maybe you would have in the past in those states of emotional eating. This is what I go into a lot in the new 6-week summer meal plan, because for most people, the types of foods that we will emotionally eat on are going to be sugar or refined carbohydrates. We're not like emotionally eating on beef jerky. So, I mean, that'd be great, but it would give us the protein. But most people are looking for like that comfort food item, the refined food product, the sugar, something that will give them that dopamine hit to just feel better again. And making sure you address your sugar cravings and the tools to help prevent those sugar cravings makes it so when you're in those states of feeling stressed, feeling emotional, you're less likely to actually eat those foods that are not going to support your goals. So definitely make sure you check out that new meal plan with those tips and strategies, because it's going to be a game changer. Okay, I see there's a few more questions, but I'm just going to finish up for now. We do have the live stream coming up for day 1 of the challenge, which the challenge does start on Monday, June 26th. If you guys want to join the 6-week summer intermittent fasting challenge, or just get more details on like what it is, how to get started, what's included, you can check out the details linked down description below. I have the meal plans listed. I also have the blog post that has all the details for the challenge linked down description below. So keto coffee cheers, guys. Super excited. This is always like my favorite time of the year. The best recipes. I mean, I already said this, but this one has my favorite recipes, 50 brand new ones. So it's just gonna be really fun, really supportive time. And I just always love the positivity that is around these challenges, because it's just such an amazing group of people that is in the Facebook group, in these live stream chats. And they're just people that you want to surround yourself around, people that you want to have on your side during this wellness journey. So I'm excited to be on your guys' journey, and I'll see you guys in the next week or 2 weeks from now live stream. All right. Thanks for tuning in.